Good morning, welcome, kia ora. I'm Bridgitt the Naturopath from Maintaining Your Health, Whakatikiteka Oranga, and my natural health clinic is based in Napier, Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. Today I'm coming to you from Hastings, where I'm getting recorded my Naturopathy with Bridgitt program at Radio Kidnappers, right here, your local community radio station. You can contact me on 027 284 3781. And my natural health clinic is I offer you natural health solutions to help balance your mental, emotional, physical symptoms. I'm a nutritionist as well as a medical herbalist and a reflexologist. So today my chat, I think it's quite appropriate with what's happening in New Zealand at the moment. So today's chat is about, what is it about? Holistic mental health care with Bach, B-A-C-H, Bach flowers. Okay, so in my clinic, I just let you know, in my clinic I support all folk, regardless of your choice, your recent choices, and I'm here to help you. So your safety is my utmost priority. In my clinic, I have one of those plastic perspex screens that I can put over in between us when we're discussing or when we're having reflexology. And my latest acquisition is, I now have this new Fandangle screen. Cool, eh? This is fast. I feel like I'm on Star Trek, but there you go. So this is to make you feel more safe and secure, and for me as well. So I will be wearing this in clinic, and you're welcome to wear your mask if you want to. So let's get on with the show. Okay, so there's a lot of mental health, anxiety, depression, a lot of issues around what's happening in New Zealand at the moment. So I'm going to come in and chat to you about how you can possibly help rebalance those emotions. And my disclaimer that I must make is that anything I say here, do not throw away any of your doctor medication if you're on any, and it's not to replace any doctor medication without a consultation. So let's go. So you know Rescue Remedy, right? Most people know it by now. They're quite familiar with it. It used to be in a little yellow box, and you can buy it at a spray or drops, and some had little pastils in a tin. Well, that family, I'm going to talk to you about that family today. Rescue Remedy has 5 Bach flowers, or it used to, in it. It's now been remodelled and it has like a little light blue box, not a yellow box. But that whole family, there's 38 remedies in that family, and I'm going to talk to you about how that can help you on that mental, emotional level. After all, my clinic is all about holistic health, well-being. So I connect your spiritual, your mental and your physical. I think that's all important when they're all connected and flowing for better health. So I'm going to take this mask off now because it's really odd to talk on this show, and it's really hard. So I'm just going to take it off. Oh, hi, that's better. I can see you now. So I'm going to tell you a bit about Dr. Bach. So it's not like bark on a tree, it's B-A-C-H. So Bach flowers were created by Dr. Edward Bach right back in the 1930s. Now this man had incredible forward vision to figure out how these Bach flowers work. He was known as the father of modern flower remedies. And Dr. Edward Bach's belief was to treat the cause of an illness rather than the symptoms. And he believed that the true cause of illness and disease in humans was their personality, or what their mental health, their emotions were all about. And their patterns, their mental emotional patterns. So Dr. Edward Bach chose to treat these patterns And he was really, really clever and tuned in, so intuitive. He created 38 of these Bach flower remedies. So that's a whole family. You can get it in a kit. I have it in clinic, and other people around Hawke's Bay have access, all around New Zealand actually, and all around UK, the world, have access to Dr. Edward Bach, his flower remedies. So each remedy has a correcting vibration for the current state of your mind or mental, emotional health. And it doesn't mean that you're wrong or like you're really wacky out of balance. It just gently rebalances your mental, emotional state, okay? When that is gently rebalanced, it will naturally have a ripple-on effect down into your physical well-being. It has to, because that's how humans work. We're all holistically connected. Since the physical is a direct reflect of the mind, these Bach flower remedies transform your negative energy, vibrations, emotions into positive. These Bach flowers, they're really, really safe. Right? They won't interact with any medications, any doctor medications. Anybody can take them, from babies right up to elderly. Even if folk are in a coma, you can still dab it on their lips. They'll still get a healing response from it. They're really great for accidents, for shock. You can dab it on their lips again if they're unconscious. You can walk around and spray it around them. You can still get into that energy circle around them. You can put it in water for babies if you don't want to put it in their mouth, and they can drink that. Children can drink that as well. So adding it to the water, I reckon, it's so much better than fluoride or chlorine. Why wouldn't we choose Bach flowers? Okay, so animals can take it as well. You can drop it into their water, dissolve it into their water. And plants have spirit and energy, as well as animals and humans. And, if you've uprooted a plant or they're not looking too happy, too healthy, try giving them some rescue remedy. Works wonders. If it works for humans and animals, it will work for plants. I've tried it. It really does work. Okay, so we've talked about that. What else have we done? So if you're looking at your list and you choose a remedy and it doesn't quite resonate with you, but you've got it anyway, don't worry, it's okay, don't freak out. It'll just move through you if it doesn't resonate with what's happening with your current mental state. That's okay. So the key to taking these Bach flower remedies is to be really consistent with it. Consistently taking. So it takes about roughly 3 days to make a change, and about 7 days to really cement that change. And I like to take it one step further. When I mix in my clinic for my clients, I always say, what about a little positive saying, something like that's in the now that relates to why you're having these remedies? Because that kind of cements it up here in the head and mentally. And the more you say it each time you take your Bach flower, then that's a double cementing, if you like. I hope that makes sense. A double cementing in the head. Okay, so how is it made? How are these remedies made? So we have what we call the mother tinctures of the Bach flowers, and Dr. Edward Bach, he made these from flowers. Most of them are made from flowers, and then a few are made from trees and bushes and the plants itself, and rocks, for example, rock water flowing down through the rocks. That's rock water is one of them. So we get these mother tinctures, so there's 38, and you tell us your story, and then I choose 6 or 7 remedies to make up into one bottle from these tinctures, from these mother tinctures. And I add about 7 drops of each. That's the standard, about 7 drops of each. And it gets added into like either a spray bottle or a dropper bottle. and then off you go, and you take it as directed, as I direct it for you. So it's mixed in spring water with maybe a little tiny bit of alcohol, which is kind of like a really ripe banana, the same equivalent as that. Okay, what else do I got to tell you? So these, Dr. Edward Bach, he grouped these Bach flowers into groups of mental emotional states, and so I'm going to talk you through that now and elaborate a bit more and see how we get on with that. So I thought I'd start with the group called fear, because there's a lot of fear at the moment, and that is so understandable given what's going on in New Zealand and the world with the current situation. So don't fear, never fear, there's fear. There's fear Bach flower remedies. There's about 5 of them, and they're all for different stages, because everyone has different types of fear. There's one for fear that you know about, there's one for fear you just feel fearful but you don't really know why. There's one for extreme terror or fright, there's one for panic and despair, and you think you're going mad, you're going nuts, you think you are, okay? So there's all different fear remedies that I would choose from depending on what's going on for you. Then we come along to maybe this group is for despondency and despair. There's quite a few in this one. So it's for feeling overwhelmed. And there's this lovely tree called the elm tree. So elm for being overwhelmed. Lack of self-confidence, maybe larch. So I'm naming the remedies at the end. Larch is one. So guilt or self-blame, that's pine. Or what about one that says, I can't go on anymore, I just can't handle it. Yeah, I'm at my wit's end. There's even one for that. Poor self-image, if you want to self-harm as well. There's a lot of self-harm going on. A lot of suicide has increased in New Zealand. So Bach flowers are really good for that as well. Not to replace, remember, any doctor medication, but they do help with the mental, emotional thought patterns to rebalance. There's also one called Shock, Star of Bethlehem it's called. It's beautiful. It's for shock for now, for past and present, because shock can accumulate in your cells' bodies. Your memory, your cells have memory, so it can stay in there for a long time. And even, for accidents, having Star of Bethlehem is great. That's why it's in Rescue Remedy. Another one is for anger and resentment. And there's a lot of anger going on at the moment, so willow bark is really good. Willow bark and chicory team up really well for anger and resentment. So there's quite a few already that you're probably relating to. You think, yeah, I really need that today, or no, or not that one. So there's some other groups here, and then another group is called being oversensitive. And some of us can get a little bit oversensitive when we're overwhelmed and stressed out with what's going on. Maybe it's that time of month. Maybe we've been oversensitive like that. So some symptoms of being oversensitive that relate to some remedies are, you hear people say, no, I'm fine, I'm just fine, I'm great, but you don't look great. Oh yeah, but I'm good, I'm fine. Yeah, well, there's a remedy for that one. What about people, you might know them, they're like the doormat. They're like, they allow people to treat them a bit like a doormat. And maybe they just can't say no, and they just keep saying yes, and then they're overwhelmed. So then they might need elm for being overwhelmed. Or folk, there's a remedy for folk that say, just you wait, I'm going to get you. There's actually a remedy for that. Who knew, right? There's remedies for everything. Any mental, emotional imbalance state. And this is what Dr. Edward Bach figured out. That's what I mean. In the 1930s, he figured these out. It's pretty onto it, I think, pretty clever. There's another one called for the habit or the link breaker. I think it's quite good for for addictions as well, to help break addictions, and that's walnut. So that's quite good for going through different phases, transformation in your life as well. And there's a lot of that going on at the moment, you know, moving from maybe one career to another career and another phase of your life, transforming. And that one's called walnut. Who knew, right? Walnut that grows on the tree. Walnut. So yeah, he was just incredible, Dr. Edward Bach. And I love them. I resonate with these greatly. Okay, so we've talked about that. The other group is about uncertainty. And there's quite a few in this group. So this is quite a large group that Dr. Edward Bach figured out. One of them is because I ask others what to do all the time. I don't know if you come across folk like that. So they're not very confident in themselves, and they're asking, well, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? So I might give those ones scleranthus. Oh, that's a big word, but that's one of the remedies. And I might give them larch as well for being a bit more confident in themselves. Sometimes those people are doormats, so I might give them one for being a doormat as well. I know there's so many remedies that we can choose from. What else is there? Some people, you know, they're like, their cup's always half full, and they're easily discouraged. So they have any little mishaps or anything in life, and they go, oh, that's doom and gloom, that's it. They're staying in bed forever, ever. Well, there's actually a remedy for that. It really, really works, and we can tie it in with others. Then there's folk who, you know, I reckon you come across folk like that who they kind of repeat the same life experience again and again and again and again. And that's called fail to learn from life's experience. There's actually a remedy for that. And it works again, it works. Now here's another one. So you might know somebody who's like overly possessive, and they're like quite controlling, quite control freaks. They're kind of like the mother hen of the house or the group. There is a remedy for that as well. Now here's another one. You might know people who they're a bit spacey. They're a bit fey. That's an old kind of Celtic word, fey, F-E-Y. And they're like daydreaming all the time. They just kind of like float through life, and they're not very well grounded. There is a remedy for that as well. So that's called, what is that one called? Clematis, yeah. Okay, so, gorse. You know, gorse that is like really sprayed the heck out of farms and areas like that. Well, Dr. Edward Bach, he made a Bach flower from gorse, that beautiful bright yellow flower. Bright yellows give you sunshine. So that's for feelings of hopelessness, no light at the end of the tunnel, despair. And again, that kind of fits into the current climate of what's happening at the moment. So yeah, I know gorse is like, it's a terrible spreader, but if you can get any, you could even make a cup of tea. If it hasn't been sprayed, you can make a cup of tea of the flowers and see how you get on that way. The essence will still be there in those flowers. All right, what else have we got? Oh, there's one for being self-absorbed. You know, you might come across folk that just talk about themselves all the time, right? And they talk, and you might say something and they go, oh yeah, okay, and then they talk back about themselves. And they're not really listening to what you're saying. They just want to do everything about themselves. Well, actually, I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm not saying that that's a negative, but, you know, some people might need a little gentle rebalance in that area. So there is a Bach flower for that as well. What about folk who are living in the past? And they go, I remember in the olden days it used to be like this, and I remember when I was young and it was like this, and they always kind of hanker for the past. You know, there are folk out there like that. And again, that's not saying they're wrong, but if it's affecting their physical health and the rest of their health, they might need a little bit of balancing with a Bach flower. Okay, what else have we got? Oh, mental tiredness. If you're just tired and thinking all the time, and there's a bit of mental tiredness going on, and you know, that again, that kind of goes into that anxiety and despair. And there is a Bach flower for that, hornbeam, very nice, hornbeam. And then they've got weird names, haven't they? But they really do work. Oh, this is a good one. So, woman, this suits women. So women who have PMS, premenstrual syndrome, they get a little bit impatient, a little bit snarky with the hormone imbalance. So impatience or snappy, or never enough time. They go, come on, rush, 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 rush. So there's a really good one for that called impatience. Okay. Unexplained deep gloom, depressed but just don't know why. There's another remedy for that. Exhausted in the mind and body, that's olive. Intolerant of others' shortcomings, that's called beech. You know, people who might be a bit of a beech. No, B-E-E-C-H. That's actually a remedy, a beech. Okay, so folks, I just wanted to let you know that Dr. Edward Bach had incredible foresight in the 1930s to create this family of 38 Bach flower remedies. If you feel that, oh, I might like to give that a bit of a try, you can contact me, 027 284 3781. And I also do acute naturopathy appointments. I can Zoom online, I can ring you up on the phone, we can do Facebook Messenger, or you can come and quickly see me in person. And then we can create this Bach flower remedy just for you, if you want to do it just like that. So don't despair, don't be despondent. There is Bach flower that can help balance you, help you get through these trying mental anxiety times, these big stressful times. I'm here to help you. Kia ora, folks. Have a great day. Be kind to each other. Most of all, be kind to each other. You just don't know what they're going through. Kia ora.